guys, it's Kunle Ologun here. As we all know, Nigeria is currently going through a really challenging time in terms of the economic hardship in the land. We know that since the current administration came into office on the 29th of May, just 2023, and the removal of fuel subsidy, the economy of Nigeria has hit all-time low in terms of everything you can think of. Today, we know that the currency has been devalued to a great extent, that it's struggling to compete at the international level. The cost of living for all the citizens in Nigeria skyrocketed. Things are very expensive. In fact, we understand that the bag of rice that was probably sold, remember when I was back home in Nigeria, it was sold for 7,000 naira. Now it is about 75 to 80,000 naira. This is extraordinary. And bear in mind, the cost of living is rising, but the salaries of these workers are not increasing. And in fact, there are so many individuals in the same country that are still seeking employment. They are unemployed in Nigeria at the moment. So one of the key things that we have done at this period is to look into the insight into what is the solution to this. I mean, there is no one who can provide a solution or discuss more about this, economic hardship other than our guest that we are bringing on this evening. I summoned my friend, he's a very good friend of mine, Dayo Israel, to join me here at K90 channel and also attend BK90 restaurant. And he did yielded to this call and he showed up and he attended an interview with me. I asked him a number of questions around the economic challenges that Nigeria is currently facing at the moment. This is what he had to say. Take a listen. What have you been up to in recent months?
I think the focus has been really to put structure around what we're doing in the APC youth wing. For the older generation, political parties have been a tool for victory or tool for election. It's what they call SPV, a special purpose vehicle. So you only want to use the party as a platform to run for office and win election and go ahead. But for me, I see political parties as a means to an end. The end is the development of the people. And so parties must become more relevant, not just in campaigns and elections, but also in supporting whatever government of the day or the government of the party to improve the life of the people. And that's why, for example, part of the focus of our youth wing moving forward will be building human capital development, training and empowering our members, creating opportunities for our members. Recently, I started up what we call the Office of Employment under my office. And the goal was to begin to facilitate employment for young people, in particular our party members, in the public and private sector. But beyond all of that is also to begin to build the capacities of these young people to become employable. And so those are some of the core areas that I'm looking at. Is to also energize the youth and energize our base. During the AFCON event, I hosted watch parties for both the semi-final and final. While this may not look like anything important, but it formed an avenue for inclusivity and for the members of the party, particularly the young ones, to know that the party still cares about them. We're not just calling them for election, but we also, believe that we must create activities and programs and events to get them engaged. And so those are part of the things I'm focused on, the total youth. And so in about 3 weeks, we're going to be launching our APC Youth Week strategic plan. And the team is actualizing expectations. And the reason why that is that a lot of people are expecting many great things from our administration, in particular the Bola Tinubu presidency. And for the government to be able to achieve that, the party has a role to play. And so the team of our strategic plan is actualizing expectation, is to see what role we can play as a youth wing of the party to help the government meet the needs of the citizens and let the citizens and the young people of Nigeria have their expectation actualized. People are expecting jobs, they're expecting opportunities. We want those expectations actualized. I think there's a flip side of the theme of the agenda, the complementary flip, which is renewed hope. So the addition is renewing the hope. We are now taking it away from just hope to an actualized expectation, because hope is what is anticipated. We want that hope to become actualized and a reality. That's what we're trying to do.
Wow, that's interesting. Thank you so much for that. Well, I mean, you've been pivotal to the election of the current president of Nigeria, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What is your assessment of his time in office so far?
I've always said it to people that Ashwadi Bola Ahmed Tinubu is like a construction engineer. The reality is that if you want to build a city or you want to build a skyscraper, before you build up, you build down and you build deep. You've got to excavate. You've got to get rid of all the muds and bad soil, and then you start your piling. And when you're piling, you're going down, you're piling down, you're investing down. People don't see a building. You could have spent billions of money just on building down, just on solidifying the structure, just on deepening the foundation and piling of the building. People have not seen anything. You say you are promising them 25-story buildings, but you just keep building down. They haven't seen anything standing up. But what you're doing is that you're strengthening the foundation of the structure that you want to put on it. And so after you do all your piling, then you do your foundation, you do your German floor, you then begin to build the building on top. So people will not understand what you're doing until they begin to see your building and you begin to do your blocks and then bringing out the rooms. But you have spent a lot just piling. And so what Bola Tinubu is doing right now is to solidify the base of the building before we begin the full construction. To solidify the foundation, to build and to do the piling, so that we can have a Nigeria that is built on a very strong base. And that's why you will see a lot of this restructuring. That's why you see some of these reforms. My prayer and my charge is just for the governors and the appointees of the president to also play their own part, so that the president's decision to make life better for Nigerian and to build a better future for Nigerian would come out, the hard work will come out if everybody is doing their job, if the governors are able to put in structures. Yes, there are institutional challenges, fundamental challenges. For example, we need to conduct a census. We need an up-to-date data of the people in Nigeria, the people in every local government. Because if we don't have this data, we cannot plan. Planning, research, and statistics. Statistics is at the heart of planning. If we don't know how many people are living in a particular community, how do we put in infrastructure in place? If we don't have the correct figure, we estimate we are 180 million people, we are 200 million people, sometimes we are 250 million people, but we need to have the data, the correct data. How many people are living in Abia North? How many people are living in Okigwe? How many people are living in Lagos, mainland local government? How many people are living in Edo North local government? Then you now know, do we need more primary schools in this community? Do we need more roads in this community? If we have so and so number of millions of people living in a particular state, then we know how many primary health care center do we also need more? How many jobs do we need to create? How many youth are unemployed in this particular community? That is what we see in the West. There's a data that you can interpret to make your decision. But we make decisions in Nigeria and in Africa right now that are not data driven. We make them on estimate. And so we cannot get development until we begin to get our data right. And we can make decisions that are based on the data that is available to us. Then we can plan and we can introduce intervention. So whatever interventions we release today, palliative programs, all of those kind of things will still be ad hoc until we have proper data to be able to base our interventions and decision making on. I think I'll stop there.
Thank you so much. One more question before you stop. The subsidy has been removed. The exchange rate today, you understand, is skyrocketed. What message do you have for Nigerians that are saying, Ebin Bawa?
The reality is that everybody is feeling one form of pain or the other. The Nigerian people have faced a lot of challenges since the removal of the subsidy. But first, I want to assure them that the intention of the president is not to make them suffer or to make them experience pain. The intention of the president is to institutionally develop our country and our nation. And it's important that we use the opportunity to call on leaders at all levels, like I mentioned earlier, to create systems that will make it easy for the people to be able to manage this issue and the pain. Yes, it's good to share bag of rice and all of those palliatives, but we need to also call on government at different levels, local and state, to also do more in introducing programs. I love what the Lagos State Governor is doing. He has introduced the red line in addition to the blue line. What those things also does is to create alternative means. So instead of spending money on your fuel and driving from Agege all the way to Marina and spend hours on the road and burn fuel, the little money you don't have, you can jump on the train and get to the same destination in lesser time. So if the road was going to take you 1 hour, the train will probably take you 14, 16, and it's right on time and it helps you save some money. But not every state is like Lagos. I think the message really is to leaders to also be like Mr. Babaji Ojola Sanwo-Olu and be proactive in introducing programs that have long-term effect on the welfare, the development of their people and their community. Yes, the bag of rice is fine, the bag of gari and sugar and wheat that we're going to distribute, but on the long term, we need infrastructure that will make it easier for Nigeria. Infrastructure in terms of energy, infrastructure in terms of road and transport, and what have you. And for the Nigerian people, I would say please be patient with the president. He has the best interests of this country at heart. We just need to give him time to be able to let his efforts to begin to yield fruit, while other stakeholders like governors and ministers and elected officials at other level needs to begin to play their own part in complementing the effort of the presidency.
So clearly, you've heard from me. That is Dayo Israel, the APC national youth leader for the current ruling party, where we have the current president of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Remember, Dayo Israel worked tirelessly and endlessly for this current administration, for President Tinubu to emerge as the president of Nigeria. It's been to everywhere you can think of, riverine, campaigning for Tinubu to be elected as the president of Nigeria, and now finally elected. He has just said it all that he is currently building a foundation, and Nigerians have not seen the output, the reward of what the foundation is at the moment. So, can we say that a time that the farmer uses to sharpen his cutlass is not a wasted time? Hopefully, there will be light at the end of the tunnel in Nigeria, and hopefully things will get better. Let me hear your views about the comment of APC National Youth Leader Dayo Israel. Let me hear what you've all got to say. What can you make of the current challenges that is facing Nigeria? Remember, it is not just about the economic hardship. The country is also going through a series of insecurity and a host of all other challenges as well. So I remain my humble self, Kunle Ologun. If you have not subscribed to K90 channel on YouTube, please kindly do so. Also, please don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching this, and bye for now.